Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Conversations Worth Having with Kai and Tara and Kai, aka just me solo today. Tara and I are still trying to figure out our time difference since we moved to Estonia for a few years, and currently our time difference is 10 hours. So I am doing a solo one, and I want to welcome you if it's your first time here. We're so grateful that you're here. This podcast is specifically great for women over the age of 35 who possibly are going through some changes, who have busy lives, who are taking care of their elderly parents, young children, jobs. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. And today's podcast will be one that's very close to my heart. And we're going to talk about the most important investment that you will ever make is the woman that you're becoming. And this is very, very close to my heart because I am turning 40 here in a few more days. And I have decided to really focus on my mental health and my physical health. And they are both intertwined with one another because if you are able to gain more muscle and really have the stamina to do things that you need to do, you're also going to be mentally a lot stronger. Let's dive right in. Beauty Over 40, episode 3 out of 3. Have you ever noticed that somewhere around the age of 40, something begins to shift? It's not just in our bodies, right? It's in our priorities. The things that once felt so important slowly begin to lose their grip, and the things that truly matter start demanding our attention. Over the past 2 episodes, we've talked about accepting ourselves in a culture that profits from insecurity and learning to love ourselves before seeking approval from the world. Today, I want to answer a very simple question. What can we actually do today? Not in a year, not when life slows down, because it really won't, will spin up much faster. Not when the children are older, not when we lose that 10 pounds. What can we do today? Because beautiful lives are built through ordinary choices repeated over time. I'm going to repeat that one. Beautiful lives are built through ordinary choices repeated over time. I think one of the greatest gifts of turning 40 is realizing that no one is coming to rescue us. There is no product, no trend, absolutely no influencer, and no miracle solution. Our lives change because we decide to change the way we live them. Sometimes we relocate, and the peace will come within 30 to 60 days of a much calmer pace of life. For me personally, another thing and a decision that I've made is really to take care of my body. It is not because I'm trying to be 25 again, because I'm never going to be 25 again. I'm about to be 40, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be on this earth for almost 40 years. In my case, fitness isn't a punishment. It's one of the ways I say thank you to the body that has carried me through every season of my life. The body who has carried me from one airport to another. The body that has helped me so much in my life. That beautiful body. Do I exercise every day? No, and I don't think I need to. I've learned to honor my body instead of fighting it. Some days my body asks for strength training. Some days it asks for a stretch. And some days it simply asks for rest. This is where it's really important for us to keen in because when your body asks for rest, give it rest. That's a problem with me personally. Listening to our bodies isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And although I don't work out every day, I live a very active life. Just to put it in perspective, before 9:30 a.m., I had already served 3 different meals. I am counting sandwiches, dumplings, and homemade nice eggs with potatoes as a meal. So that's at 9:30 a.m. I got up at 6:15 this morning. Let's continue. And although I don't work out every day, I live a very active life. Just to give The reason I gave that example is because I was up for a few hours and I had already cooked 3 meals for our incredible family. We have two incredible, energetic homeschool children who keep me moving from morning until night, and they keep life extremely interesting as well. Life itself has become movement for me. Walking, playing, teaching, laughing, cleaning, exploring. I've stopped believing that health only happens inside of a gym. Actually, I just made a gym membership. I haven't had one since forever because I was able to use the military gym and I've been doing Beachbody for years. But I started a gym membership. I'm actually interviewing a potential personal trainer at 12:30. I've never had one, so I'm exploring that option. But I really have stopped believing that health only happens inside of a gym. Health happens in the way we choose to live every single day. There's another investment that I've made that is protecting my mental health. This is a big one. I realized that my mind needs care just as much as my body does. I pay attention to the thoughts I allow to stay. I notice when comparison starts creeping in, which is almost daily. I notice when fear becomes louder than hope. And when that happens, I gently redirect my attention because the thoughts we rehearse eventually become the lives we live. I've also learned that peace doesn't usually arrive by accident. It grows where we intentionally make space for it. Sometimes that's through prayer, sometimes it's through a quiet walk, and sometimes it's simply sitting with a cup of coffee before the rest of the house wakes up, which was me today. I sat with my cup of coffee at about 6:25 a.m. Estonian time, and I journaled about 4 pages. Journaling is extremely important in my life. We practice what matters, and the intention to leave things that don't matter behind is a life that I'm choosing to live. Your mind deserves moments of peace. I know the American culture don't believe moments of peace, but your mind deserves it. Otherwise, you will absolutely lose it. Rest is huge here in Estonia. One of the biggest changes in my life has been realizing what success actually can look like and will look like. Years ago, I probably would have answered that question very differently. Today, success has names. Success looks like my husband, my 2 kids, my family that has become the center of my universe. Not because everything is perfect, no family is, but because relationships outlast achievements. At the end of our lives, I don't think we'll remember every task we completed. We'll remember the conversations, the hugs, the dinners together, the laughter around the table, the ordinary moments that quietly became extraordinary moments. If you're over 40 and wondering where to invest your energy today, invest in people, love deeply, listen extremely carefully, and be fully present. In my opinion, there is nothing worse than having a deep conversation with someone and a ding goes on their arm or on their phone, and suddenly that attention is gone. To me, that is so disrespectful. So your children also won't remember the laundry, and if it was perfectly folded, especially if they folded it. They'll remember whether you looked up when they were walking into the room. And finally, I want to share the foundation that holds everything else together for me, my faith. I know this may not be everyone's story, but it's mine. I lean on God every single day, not because life is easy, because it isn't. There has been seasons when I didn't have answers. There have been moments when I felt exhausted, completely discouraged and uncertain. And through it all, my faith remained the one place I could return to. The world changes constantly. Trends come and go. Opinions change overnight. What people celebrate this year may be forgotten the next. And also the same is with body images. Thick thighs, big arms, leaner. What are we supposed to do? We're just supposed to feel good in our own bodies and in our minds. I found something that doesn't move the way the culture does. I found peace in Christ. For me, no amount of self-help has ever done what Christ has done in my own heart. And I will talk deeper about that personal experience at the age of 16 in a later podcast. No trend has ever healed what only God could heal. No product has ever given me the peace that comes from knowing I'm loved exactly the way I am. That doesn't mean life suddenly becomes easy. It just means that I will no longer have to carry it alone. And perhaps that's one of the greatest forms of beauty, a peaceful heart. Not because life is perfect, but because you've placed your hope in something greater than yourself. So before we finish today, I'd like to leave you with 5 simple invitations. Please start today. Move your body because you love it, not because you hate it. Protect your mind by paying attention to what you repeatedly tell yourself. Invest deeply in your family and the people you love. Hold tightly to the values that matter more than passing trends. And if faith is part of your life, please spend time with God before spending time with the opinions of the world. None of these things require perfection. They simply require consistency. Tiny choices repeated over time, because that's how beautiful lives are built, not in dramatic moments, but in ordinary Tuesdays, one decision at a time. As we finish today, I'd like to leave you with one other thought. Beauty after 40 isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming more deeply rooted in who you've always been, more peaceful, consistent, loving, present, and more grateful. And perhaps that's what the second half of life is really for. Not proving ourselves for the world, but becoming women who no longer need to. Thank you all so much for spending this time with me today. If this episode encouraged you, please share it with another woman who may need the reminder that her greatest investment isn't another beautiful product. It's her body, her mind, her relationships, and her soul. And don't forget to join us soon when Tara comes back and we can finally figure out our 10-hour time difference. Until then, please take good care of yourself. Cherish the people you love. Stay rooted in what truly matters. And remember, the most beautiful investment you'll ever make is the woman that you're becoming today. We are so extremely grateful to have you here with Conversations Worth Having with Kai and Tara, aka a solo one right now. Please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and for important updates on Instagram, and iTunes. I wish you the most beautiful day. Please stay genuine and true to yourself. Put your mind at ease by leaning on Christ, if that's what you choose to do. And please take care of your body and your mind. Have a beautiful day, everyone. We'll see you next Thursday. Bye.